Come with me as I walk you through how I did my Asajj Ventress makeup. This video is part 1, the bald cap. So if you have a flat iron, I suggest flat ironing your hair first if it's a little curly or wavy, and then you can get your got to be glued hairspray or the gel and flatten your hair as much as you can and run it through. I am using some flat clips that you use to pin your hair back, and I'm tucking my hair into my costume. This hair will go down the back of the bald cap, which has a tail in the back. This is the method I recommend if you have a lot of hair and don't want to cut it short. Now be generous with the hairspray. I'm using just a flat tongue depressor to go ahead and flatten it as much as I can. Being generous with the hairspray. Make sure it's completely dry before you put on the bald cap, because it will stay wet under there if it's not. I'm going to go ahead and clean off any oils that I have, where I'm going to put the glue from the bald cap. That way it will stick all day. I'm just using rubbing alcohol here. I'm going to heat up my bald cap so it's easier to stretch, get out some of the wrinkles. Heating it up, this is latex, and it'll help it keep from tearing. I'm going to go ahead and stretch it out over my head. Get it positioned in the front where I would like it. Make sure that it fits down as far as I need it to go down into my collar to hide my hair. If your costume has a tight-fitting neck, go ahead and put it on before you start this process. Once I get it positioned where I want it, then I'm going to trim it. Make sure your hair is as smooth as you'd like it so you don't have any lumps. Now I'm going to roll my collar down so that way it's out of the way when I go ahead and glue it. All right, now here comes the fun part. I was traveling and only had these big scissors. I recommend using smaller scissors, it'll make it much easier, and then cutting away small pieces until you get the line where you're going to blend it where you want it. So I start with cutting away the pieces that are covering my eyes. Little by little, take your time, be patient. You can always trim away more, but you can't add it back on. So get your line of vision first, and then start working with the cap and seeing where you want to place the line for the cap that you're going to blend. I found it easier to have the line kind of like where my forehead wrinkles a little bit. Easier to blend that way. So I'm just trimming off little pieces here, a little bit at a time, because I don't want to take too much off. Plus these scissors I had were trash. It's definitely better with a little bit smaller scissors. But hey, you gotta make do with what you have when you're traveling sometimes. I almost forgot to pack scissors altogether. Careful trimming around your face. You don't want to poke yourself in the eye. And when you're getting close to here where the ears are going to be, make sure you leave enough of a sideburn piece here so that you can pull it down tight. You can always cut more off, but you can't put it back. All right, once I get my cap where I want it, it doesn't matter if it's a straight line or not. I'm going to grab my Pros-Aid, which is a skin adhesive glue. It's medical grade, works excellent for prosthetics, bald caps, anything that you need. Pros-Aid is what I use. So Pros-Aid, I'm just going to apply with a Q-tip. You don't need any special brushes. If you use a brush, it'll just get all gummed up and glued. So just go ahead and grab yourself a Q-tip And now I'm going to put my glue probably about a 3/4 inch of a width line across my forehead. And this is where I'm going to anchor it first because it's easiest to do it this way and then stretch the cap back into the sides to get the wrinkles out. Now, Pros-Aide is a glue that you want to put on, and it's white when wet and clear when dry. So you don't want to attach it until it's clear. So I'm going to go ahead and put a generous line across my forehead for my first anchor point. If you don't have one of these handy dandy fans, oh my gosh, they are such lifesavers for drying glue, for drying makeup. It's just a lash fan that I got that's in my Amazon store. But if you don't have one of those, just get yourself a hairdryer and put it on the no heat setting. All right, so I'm stretching the cap out, gonna smooth it out, make sure I don't get any wrinkles in my glue. Just pat it down real nice. I'm going to add another little anchor point right here on the sides of my forehead. Same thing, same Q-tip. Adding about a 3/4 to 1 inch strip. Wait for it to dry. It'll turn clear. All right, once I think it's dry, I'm just going to double check it. Make sure that it's not still wet, because when I put this bald cap down, it will stay wet and won't dry completely. So I'm just going to stretch it down a bit on my face. Don't pull it too tight, because you don't want it to like lift up on your face and cause wrinkles on your face, like stretching it back. So I'm just going to pat it down. And then I'm going to plan out where I am gluing and cutting next, which will be the ears. All right, so make sure you cut up at an angle and around, because you want that little sideburn piece to hang down. And when you cut around the ears, make sure you don't cut up all the way to the top of your ears. You want to do it like right around this point right here. This is where smaller scissors would have came in handy. Now when you pop your ear out, make sure you don't get too much of a wrinkle here at the top. You want to pull down on that piece because you're going to be gluing it down, and it's going to hug right around your ear. That way the seam is more hidden. I'm going to trim a little bit down the back where it's going to attach to my neck, because I want it close to the hairline, but taking a little bit off at the time is the way to go. You got to be patient when you're doing a bald cap. It is a lot of work and it can be tricky. So definitely take your time. If you're getting ready for an event, make sure you have a good hour to an hour and a half to do a bald cap if you've never done one before. This one took me over an hour and a half, and it was the first bald cap I ever did. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make my anchor points with my glue. Do not put it in your hair if you can help it. You can get Pros-Aide out of your hair with Pros-Aide remover, but it is really hard. So it's better to just Go around the outer edges, make sure you trim up any hair where you're going to glue your bald cap down. I went ahead and pre-trimmed any hair that I had that was down around my sideburns and down around my neck. And then pull gently down, working out any wrinkles. Stretch the bald cap a bit so it's tight. Wait for your prose to be completely dry and clear, and then pat it down. And I'm doing the same thing on the other side. Side note, trying to get ready in a hotel room can be a little bit chaotic. I try to put all my stuff out where I need it to be the night before I'm getting ready. That way I don't have to hunt anything down. All right, now time to glue down the neck part. I'm going to go around my hair and then down my neck and try and keep my hair out of the way that I have tucked into my costume. This is the part that's really hard to do if you don't have someone helping you, which I didn't. Doing a bald cap solo is not fun. It's way easier if you have someone to help you, especially with these back parts. But we got it done. So I'm holding up the one side so it can dry, and then gluing the other side. And then we wait for the glue to dry, and then I'm going to stretch out this bald cap down around my neck. See how I'm tilting my head back here? That's so that you won't have wrinkles while you're wearing it. So I am tightening it down right here, tilting my head slowly back, and then pushing it down. This technique works good for long hair, so that way you can tuck it back into your costume. But ideally, doing a bald cap, it would be better to have short hair. You won't have any of these wrinkles back here. But my costume is going to have a high collar. You'll notice on a lot of films that anyone that's using a bald cap usually has a high collar to hide the bald cap in the back, where they tuck all their hair down in, like such as Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a good one right there. This is actually the type of bald cap that they used on those type of films. It's a Davy Theatrical bald cap. So I'm just trimming off the extra pieces here. And then I will take some acetone and blend in the edges. So getting rid of all these little extra pieces little by little. And then it'll be time for the acetone. They also make alcohol dissolvable caps. You could use alcohol instead of acetone. I've only worked with acetone caps, so that's usually the kind that I buy. But maybe on some future cosplays, I'll experiment with the alcohol ones. If you're going to do an alcohol bald cap, just make sure you don't use any products with rubbing alcohol on your hair to smooth it down, because it will eat away at the cap. All right, so I'm just taking a Q-tip, dipping it in nail polish remover, and then blending away these edges. This cap did not blend away as quickly as I would have liked. I've used other prosthetics, such as Gamora's eyebrow covers, and acetone blended them away seamlessly. It was really nice. But this cap was a little bit harder to work with. The edges did not blend as easy for me as I would have liked. So like I said earlier, just be patient with yourself. Give yourself plenty of time to do this. Any extra pieces I had hanging down after I blended it with acetone, I just cut them off. It's funny, doing this bald cap, I found out that I have a really tiny head. Even the small size bald cap was a little bit big, and I still got wrinkles a little bit at the top. So it wasn't to my standards, but hey, for my first bald cap, I think it turned out pretty good. I'm just taking acetone to the edges, blending those in. Any extra pieces, I'm just going to cut off with scissors. You can also use Prozaid around the edges of your bald cap after you've done all these steps to kind of like smooth out if you have a line left. All right, so this is some liquid latex that I have in an airtight jar. I bought it from Hobby Lobby, I believe. I'll put some links down in the description below. I have a sponge that I got. That's just a paintbrush sponge. I cut off the end. And I dipped it in the liquid latex. And now I'm just going to do some padding. This will reinforce the cap, make it stronger. This will help blend the edges so that it looks more like skin. I found the best type of sponge to use is not a makeup sponge. It's just a regular paintbrush sponge. It's like porous and it just looks so much better when you're done tapping it. It makes kind of little, not little indentions, but little tiny little bumps, like the imperfections of skin. So I'm just going to take this latex and work it all around the bald cap, all the way around the edges, the back, everything. As I bring it down from the edges, I'm going to blend it into my real skin. So I'm going to bring it down past the line a little bit and then work it all over the cap. This step takes some time, but I feel like it makes the bald cap so much sturdier and look so much more realistic. For Ventress, I'll be painting myself a whitish gray color by Pro Hybrid called Bone. It's kind of like white with like a touch of gray. I feel like it's perfect for Asajj Ventress. So once I'm finished patting all of this, if you were going to do like a flesh tone color, this step, I would not skip it. Definitely helps for realism. So I did one layer and now I'm working on the second layer. Just nice blotches, keeping it thin so that the latex dries no problem. I'm also going to hit it with the hair dryer when I'm finished to just make sure that it's all dry. And once this is all dry, I'm gonna get some powder. I used baby powder for this. You can use any type of powder that you want. and then I'm going to hit all over the latex. And once I've powdered it, now I'm ready for paint. My next video will have how I did Asajj Ventress makeup. I would have put it in this one, but this video was turning out to be really long, so I figured I would do just the bald cap and then go on to another video with the makeup. So look for part 2 for Asajj Ventress makeup, guys. I had so much fun doing this makeup. Asajj Ventress is such a baddie, and it was so much fun to be able to just paint myself white and then contour with gray. So stay tuned for the next part. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate every like and subscribe. You guys are amazing. And thank you for watching. May the force be with you.